The social contract can be defined as an unwritten list of conventions of which those individuals and groups who are not part of are left out, forced to live with the misfortunes of being outside of the contract. The social contract protects those who fit the norm, i.e., the white, heterosexual, middle to upper class male, while failing to protect those outside of these descriptions. In dealing with the idea of poverty in society, the social contract traditionally favors those groups who are middle to upper class. In a society, money, in many ways, is power. Groups who lack monetary status therefore lack a power in a society. Without power, there is little room for advancement, and those in poverty remain in their lesser position, outside of the social contract, while those with monetary prowess advance. The social contract concept can also help to understand discrimination in an urban society. Discrimination can be broken down into two types, structural and organizational. Structural discrimination can be found in the form of literal, material structures put into place to separate and segregate groups inside or outside of the social contract. For example, gates, fences, signs, and the like. Organizational discrimination can be found in the form of practices, rules, policies, etc., that are put into action to attain the same effect. The concept of the social contract is useful in understanding police brutality. The reason police exist in a society is to protect and serve citizens inside of the social contract, but fail to do so for those outside of the social contract. According to Joy James, when individuals fall outside of the social contract, they are no longer seen as citizens and are categorized and targeted by police. These non-citizens then have the potential to, and often do, become an enemy of the police state and are no longer protected under the law. The social contract plays a notable role in the act of snitching. Because snitching is a practice in which an individual gives incriminating information about another to members of a policing force, the individual, who is usually considered outside of the social contract, frequently receives privileges which are often reserved for those inside of the contract. For example, a snitch who is a drug dealer gives information to police about another drug dealer in order to attain immunity from criminal charges that would otherwise be placed against him. This practice gives the informant protection by police that is otherwise reserved for those inside of the social contract. For groups and individuals who are outside of the social contract, those inside are seen as the other. The concept of alienation can be described as when the subject, those outside of the social contract, can only recognize themselves through the eyes of the other, or those inside of the social contract. This results in the estrangement of those outside of the contract who, as Karl Marx describes it, have no control over how they relate to each other, but rather only how they relate to one another through the eyes of the other. The social contract also helps to understand exclusion from the political process. When individuals or groups lay outside of the social contract, they are in effect not seen as true citizens of the society in which they live. When these people are stripped of their citizenship, even if only figuratively, their political rights are no longer seen as valid and their political power is taken away.